All right. Hey, team. Welcome to our weekly Monday Night Huddle. I'm Amber Ike, and I'm glad that you guys are able to take some time and jump on. This is just our weekly team meeting where we go over some business tips that will help you grow your business and keep moving forward. So I'm just going to start with a couple of quick announcements. Our Thriving in 30-day challenge group for your business is going amazing. We started June 1st, so we're 6 days in, and just seeing everyone that's a part of that group and, you know, the time and not only the time, but just the focus and the intent that you're doing, moving your business forward through this 30-day challenge is amazing. So if you are not a part of that, be on the lookout for, next month, because we will be doing this again. It's just been going really well, and it's been fun for me to read through all of your guys' responses to everything. We will be having 2 virtual sip-and-sees again this Thursday night, one at 8 p.m. and 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. So the links are on Journey Toward Diamond. This is a great way to invite your friends, your family, to get more information about our products and our opportunity without feeling, salesy or overwhelmed with information. So definitely a laid back environment, and just a great way to get information in people's hands. So that's going to be this Thursday night. And then we will not be having our weekly Monday Night Huddle next week. I don't even know the last time that we haven't had a huddle. So because maybe we could do a live one from Vegas. Is Vegas 1 or 2 hours behind? This is like, I'm so confused about time zones. Why is that so confusing? 1? Okay, it's 1. So that wouldn't be too hard to manage, but we will be having our team dinner in Vegas. So that's what's going on next Monday night. So we will not be having our huddle. But okay, so you guys, tonight I am talking about nooks and crannies. So if you're taking notes, you can title it Nooks and Crannies. You guys, this is truly a Nooks and Crannies business. I know you guys hear that saying all the time, but this is Nooks and Crannies business. The opportunity to earn a full-time career income with part-time hours. And I think sometimes we think in order to be successful or to become a jewel even, we have to devote full-time hours. You guys, that's simply not true. Again, I'm hearing some feedback real quick. Let me see if I can. Sorry, guys. I just get sidetracked. I'm like, squirrel. Okay, I think I got it. Okay, so you guys, this is just, you can make full-time income with part-time hours. The key to getting full-time pay for part-time hours, though, is consistency and focus and maximizing those nooks and crannies that we all have. You can work part-time, not sometimes. The beauty of this business is you get to decide your nooks and crannies. You get to decide when you work. So why not make the most of those nooks and crannies? First of all, let's identify when those nooks and crannies might be for each one of us. All of us have different lives, so this is going to look different for each one of us. But let's identify when those nooks and crannies might be that you can find to work your business. So for some of us, our nooks and crannies might be on our drive to and from work. I know there's some of you who have, a pretty decent commute. That could be a nook and cranny for you. For some of us, our nook and cranny might be during our kids' nap time or quiet time. For some of us, nooks and crannies might come on our lunch break. Maybe you get a good 30-minute lunch break, or maybe even an hour at work. For some of us, our nooks and crannies are going to be because we wake up earlier than our kids. For some of us, we might have to make a nook and cranny, and we might have to set our alarm and get up before our kiddos. For some of us, our nook and cranny might be while we're making dinner or folding clothes or washing dishes or doing those domestic things that all need to get done at some point. So those might be our nooks and crannies. And for some of us, our nooks and crannies might be once the house is quiet at night. Everyone's in bed, everything's done for the day that needs to get done. And, the house is quiet and you function well at night, that might be your nook and cranny time. So we all have different schedules and lives, and we're all in different seasons right now, but all of us can find nooks and crannies. I'm not asking you guys to find 5 hours a day to work your Plexus business. I'm asking you to find some nooks and crannies, you know, whether that's a 10-minute chunk of time, whether that's 20 minutes, whether it's 30 minutes, you decide. But find those nooks and crannies in your schedule, identify them, write them down when those nooks and crannies are. For most of us, we have, you know, I know summer just hit, so for some of us, our schedules totally just changed with kids home, or for the teachers, you know, your schedule might be different now. But for the majority of us, our schedules tend to be similar day in and day out, weekdays, right? So, you know, you pretty much have a rhythm and a routine, so those nooks and crannies don't shift a lot day in and day out. So once you've identified those nooks and crannies, decide what activities you will do during those times. You guys, it's so important to have a plan. Have a plan in place for what you're going to do when you have a nook and cranny. Maybe you can use your drive time for personal development and listen to an audio CD. Maybe you can watch a training video while making dinner. You guys, when I first started, and actually even to this day, when I'm making dinner, that's when I pull up YouTube, and if my kids are quiet enough, usually I send them outside to play while I'm making dinner, and I can watch a 10-minute YouTube video while I'm getting dinner prepped for them. Maybe you can use your 30-minute lunch to follow up with your prospects every single day. Maybe you can use your kiddos' nap time to bust out all your daily Plexus tasks that need to be done and then be done for the day. Determine when your nooks and crannies are, and then decide what tasks you will do during those time frames, and then stick to it. Once you get into a rhythm and routine, those things become second nature, you guys. Once you know, okay, on my drive, this is what I do. Okay, during dinner, this is what I do. Okay, during nap time, this is what I do. Once you know what you do during those times, you become much more efficient and productive at those tasks, because you don't have this whole to-do list, and then you're going through your to-do list like, oh my gosh, well, I have 20 minutes. What should I do? What should I do? What should I do? When every task on that list seems urgent, because you know, okay, during this nook and cranny time frame, I do this thing. And then during that nook and cranny that's going to happen 5 hours down the day, I do this task. So that way you're not overwhelmed with an endless to-do list. So let's see here. So those things become second nature, and you just start doing them without thinking. Like, honestly, you guys, when I jump in the car now, it's like I literally, if I am not going to do personal growth, I have to like remind myself, like, okay, you're going to call so-and-so. Like you guys, it's gotten to the point where I write down, call mom. Like I write down, call my mom, because it's so natural for me to want to watch a training video on my drive, you know. But if for some reason I'm not doing that, then I intentionally write down, call so-and-so, and make sure that I use that drive time for that. But as my default, I'm using my drive time for training. That's natural to me now. Whereas before, pre-Plexus, it was natural for me to jump on the phone and call whoever I want to call. Now it's switched, because I've done it so many times on every single drive that it's second nature. Also, you guys, for me, 10 to 11 a.m. is my power hour. That is when I am like going like a mad woman, getting my income producing activities done. That is when our twins take their morning nap, thank the Lord. And this summer I'm going to try to switch them to the 1 nap a day. They still like 2 naps, so I'm like running with it. But I'm going to try to switch them to the 1 nap. But for right now, 10 to 11 a.m. is their morning nap. And so that is when I get the bulk of my Plexus work done for the day. I don't have to wonder what I'm going to do or when I'm going to do my daily IPA, because I know that that time is set aside for my business. And so now with Eli, you know, he was only in school twice a week during the school year, but now that he's home every day during that time frame, now I'm not going to just be like, oh, well, now I can't work my business from 10 to 11 because he doesn't nap. Now I have to be extra intentional with him and have things set aside for him to do during that time frame. He's 4. So he can happily do puzzles by himself or play with Play-Doh, you know, use that time for him to be creative independently. Mommy still gets to work her business. I get that stuff done. And then I get to enjoy the rest of the day with him and not be stressed out over, oh, mommy didn't get to get any work done today. So you guys, anyways, it's funny because 10 to 11 a.m. is like power hour. Amber does Plexus. Like it's just so normal for me that on Memorial Day was obviously a Monday, I put the twins down for their nap and I went straight for the office to start my power hour. and my husband was home because he wasn't working that day. And he was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm going to work. Like, I'm going to go work my business." And he was like, "Oh," because he's not here Monday through Friday typically. So he doesn't know that that's really my routine. So even though it was a holiday, you guys, and I could have easily been like, "Nah, like I don't need to do that today." I know that as creatures of habit, you know, it's so important just to put in that daily consistency, even when you don't feel like it or it's easy to dismiss it, because it's just going to create so much success and momentum. So I told him I'm going to go into the office from 10 to 11, get my work done, and then I have the whole day for our family. And that's what I did. That might sound kind of crazy to you guys, like, okay, you should have taken Memorial Day off. But I realized that I need that 10 to 11 to get my bulk work done. So you guys, I want you to see your business as a blessing and not a burden. Don't see it as, oh, I have to go work my Plexus business. See it as, oh my gosh, I get to work my Plexus business and I get to decide when I'm going to work it. You get to decide what nook and cranny you work it in. So next, once you've identified when your nook and crannies are, I want you to write it on your calendar when you are working. Write it down. You guys, literally on my paper planner, because I'm old school and I write everything down on paper, I have written down 10 to 11 IPA, 10 to 11 IPA, 10 to 11 IPA. Because I know, even though it's second nature to me, if I don't fill that time slot, something else inevitably will fill that time slot. So write those nooks and crannies down, even if they're 10, 15-minute chunks. Write it down. Write down when you're working. Okay. Because let's be honest, you guys, if it isn't on my calendar, it isn't a priority. And something else more exciting, I'm a blue personality type. So for those of you that have read that book, blues just want to have fun and just go do the most exciting thing ever. And so if I don't write down IPA, I would totally just not do it and go find something else more exciting to do. So, and then I would miss the opportunity to grow myself and my business. So now don't get me wrong, you guys. Like I said in the beginning, I don't want you to work your Plexus business all day. Not at all. I don't want you to be working Plexus all day, every day. Not at all. That's exactly why I want you to write down when you will work, because it gives you a focused time frame that you can live with, because you're the one picking these hours, these nooks and crannies that you're working. And then when that time is over, so say 11 a.m. hits and your power hour nook and cranny time is done, you power down your computer, you log out of Facebook if you have to, you hide your phone if that's what it takes, but you are done working for that time frame. You're done with that nook and cranny. And this is something 2 years into my business, and I'm just now becoming more intentional with, because I've realized I love working this business so much that I easily could work it all day, every day. But I don't want that. That's not fair to my family. That's not fair to my friends. That's not fair to my dreams and my future. So I have to consciously make a decision. Okay, 11 a.m. hit. Yeah, Asa and Zoe might still be napping. Eli might still be happily playing. But I'm done. I'm done for that nook and cranny, and I'm going to go do something with our family. All too often, you guys, I know this feeling all too well, that we feel like we are constantly working our businesses and we're feeling worn out or overwhelmed. But that usually is because we don't have set times and set boundaries. You know, it's easy to be a slave to your phone and Messenger and Facebook and the notifications and all those things. And when you don't have boundaries, you get worn out. You know, you feel like you're working all day, even though it's not really income producing activities. So we find ourselves on Facebook all day, answering messages, replying to comments, reading notifications. So although we feel like we've been working our Plexus business all day, we really haven't. This opportunity is all about freedom, you guys. Plexus is all about freedom. Health freedom, financial freedom, and my favorite is time freedom. That is like my ultimate favorite. But without getting focused and being intentional with your schedule and your time and your nooks and crannies, those freedoms will be hard to find. Y'all, I want to be a diamond with this company. Don't get me wrong. I want to be diamond, and I hope you guys know that. But I want Obi to be diamond with Plexus at some point as well. That's definitely my dream. But I realized that if I don't take ownership of my schedule now and decide when I'm going to work my business, there won't be any nooks and crannies. I'm just going to be Plexus all day, every day, and that's all I'm going to amount to. Because I will be stressed out and overwhelmed from being glued to Facebook all day. That time freedom will elude me, and there won't be any purpose, right? There's going to be no point to that. So, okay, you guys, and now don't get me wrong, I realize that there are jewels out there that are working 40 plus hours a week, and if that works for them, more power to them. But I also realize that the majority of us on our team are attracted to the idea of not only financial freedom, but maybe even more so time freedom. So let's start making the most of those nooks and crannies now, so that once we are at the top of this company, our lives will be one big giant nook and cranny that you get to decide what you want to do with your time all day, every day. So that was my content for tonight. And then I just really wanted to show you guys kind of my method to my madness. And I know it'll look different for everyone because everyone's at a different stage in their business. But like I was mentioning earlier, you have got to have a plan. Like, if you're not a paper and pen person, like, have a list on your phone, what you do. Like your income producing activities, we all know what those are. Reaching out to people, having, adding people to your network, following up with people, posting on Facebook. Those are all income producing activities. But above and beyond that, you have to have an idea what you're doing every day and in those nooks and crannies. So this is just the method to my madness. It's hard, obviously you're not going to be able to read it, but it's a Sunday through Saturday checklist. And this is something, actually, I feel like Christy, you showed me this last year, and I've been using it. Anyways, what it is, I have this is my power hour, you guys. I have it to where every activity on here has a time frame. That might sound super crazy to you guys, but I literally, for some of these tasks, I set the timer. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to work on this for 5 minutes, for 10 minutes. When that timer goes off, I'm done. I'm moving on to the next thing because I'm getting through this full checklist in 1 hour, because that's my nook and cranny where I know I'm working my Plexus business. So I'm just going to go through this with you guys so you can kind of see an idea, like what I do, and you can take from it what works for you, and the things that don't apply to you, don't worry about it. But this is my power hour. Like I said, 10 to 11 a.m. is my goal for that. So I pray over my business and our business as a whole, our team. My affirmations, my daily affirmations, I say those every single day, you guys. I message my leaders. That is a priority to me. I want to be in contact with the leaders on our team. I do a post on our Journey Toward Diamond page. I want to be in contact with our team and like adding value to our team. I post on Facebook twice a day at least, and so I make that on my to-do list. My 5-3-1, reaching out to 5 new people, 3, follow-ups, and then 1 ambassador. So I have that on here. I go through my downline and my customer report and see if any customers haven't gotten their orders, see how people are doing on their PV, if there's anyone to give a shout out to, anything like that. I do a 5-minute YouTube or training call. I just go to YouTube, find a quick video that will motivate me, and I watch it. And then I reach out for 5 minutes, you guys. I reach out to my list of potential dream team people that I know would rock this opportunity. And I go through for 5 minutes and I reach out and build those friendships and try to add value to their lives. And then for 10 minutes, read a book for personal growth. So that is what I do in 1 hour's time. So the reason I do that, the reason I talk about that is not to brag, but it's to show you how much you can accomplish when you have a list, a checklist that you work through. Because otherwise, I know for me, without this, I sit down at the computer, I start reading notifications, I start seeing what I've been tagged in, I start reading messages, and then an hour goes by and I have not gotten one of these things done. And I feel so frazzled and confused and wondering why my business isn't going anywhere. And then I remember, oh, I didn't actually do anything that is income producing. So that's the method of my madness. And I hope that helps you guys. But I'm going to end the recording.